All right, welcome back to the channel. Good to see you all back and ready to do day 2. So right here, this is exactly what it looks like from the sourdough starter on day 2. It's a little bit of moisture up top. I'm just gonna give it a real good little mix. I apologize, I'm a little sick, so you know how it goes sometimes. All right, I gave it a really good mix, just getting everything moist. Then I'm going to pour out and just leave a little bit in the bottom. Yep, that's fine. Even if you just had like the outside layer and just the teeniest bit, it's still going to work just fine if you're doing sourdough. So right now we're going to add rye flour, and we're going to do the 50 just like we did last time. So we did the 50, 50, and then 100 grams of water. This also works if you want to make a bigger one. I suggest just doing a tiny one at the start. You're going to get the same results, and you're not going to waste so much flour. And you're going to get the bubbling. Yeah, so there's the rye flour and the whole wheat flour, and then we're going to put warm water in. There's the whole wheat. Yeah, so remember, about 50. You can't mess it up, so just be very kind to yourself. If it's not perfect, it's not a big deal. If you get a little bit extra, a little bit, it's fine. And also, like, when you mix it up, it's like a little bit too like sticky almost, like, you'll see what I mean. So right here is good. You want like a pancake mix. If it's super wet, like over wet, you want kind of that happy pancake mix that if you were to put it on the pan, it'll make a little bump. It's just not going to go completely flat. That's what you're looking for here. Really give it a good mix. Make sure there's no little flour pockets. Okay, I went a little excessive with the stirring. I do apologize. You know how it goes. All right, pop a lid on, and then you are ready for day 3. Okay, I have that already ready for you, so. All right, also this is what the gluten-free one looks like. See how we're getting bubbles now? Just so you can kind of see the difference. With a gluten-free one, it's not going to rise as much. It's a little bit different, but you can still see the bubbles. It still works similar. You just have to do different things. I haven't really dabbled too much in the gluten-free, but if you would like me to, I can. And if you'd like me to start, sharing some recipes about that, just comment below. I do understand that people are celiac and they do have sensitivities to gluten. I've found, for me personally, that the sourdough does not bother me the same way that regular traditional breads are. So adding a little bit of rice flour, I eyeball it a lot. And then I just add water. It's going to be a little bit thicker with the rice flour than it would be with the gluten option, but it's very similar. You're doing the same steps, so that's why I just kind of included it in the same video. If you don't like it, just skip ahead. You never know. You might have a family member that might need the gluten-free option, and it could be a real winner. Nothing better than having like something special for somebody that has dietary restrictions. Especially learning different skills. It's awesome. So again, I went pretty crazy with the stirring. Sorry. All right, and then we're gonna get into a little bit of the shaping, just because I make bread pretty much every day, so I might as well throw some fun stuff in there. So again, putting it on the bench. Probably shouldn't have just thrown it on the bench. It did stick a little bit, so throw a little flour down before you do it. And separating it into about 2 halves. I threw the other part in a bowl beside the surface area. A bench scraper is your best friend for everything. I have like a bunch of them and I love them to death. So right here I'm putting some flour down. just so we can avoid the stickiness, because I don't know what I was thinking that day, but it happens. I'm human. So again, just like the other day, if you are following the series that I've been making, I'm going to bring the sides together into the center, into the center, into the center, and then I'm bringing the whole part into itself. This one, I just to see what would happen, I left it. It does look like a burrito, but it is a very springy burrito. So I just wanted to see how it would change it. With this loaf, I found when I did my cuts that the cuts didn't turn out as nice as they naturally do. I did a little bit of slits, upward slits, kind of like the one you'll see at the end of the video. And I found when you roll it tighter, the slits are just more prominent. So it really expands, and that's the only difference. So whether you get a nice tight burrito or you get a little looser burrito, that's going to be the outcome. Remember, you don't have to score it in any manner. You can just leave it and it will just open and expand as it pleases. Or you can give it a little slit. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. So I put these in the bags and then I let them rest in the fridge overnight. I reuse these bags all the time and I wash them. So this is what happens when you've let your sourdough go past its expiration. The yellow line is where it used to be, and then it puffed up and went really high, and then it'll squash back down. So this is when you do not want to use it to make bread, because it is not. If you were to put it in a cup of water, it will fall down. Okay, this is when I had redone it. I had put the flour in. I've demonstrated that in previous videos. So this is what it looks like. That's about 3 hours later, just so you can see how fast it, even when I let it go full out, it comes back with fury. So see how beautiful those little bubbles are. And it expanded a lot. It was like almost half and then some. That's what you know you did. That's how you really know you have a good starter, is when it is really expanding. It's also the video at the start when it was like I did some stop frame animation so that you could stop frame slow, so that you could see kind of the bubbles, because you can't always watch them. That was my dog, I swear. So here we're taking it out. It's the next day. And that's what it looks like coming out of the fridge. It's cold. I figure I would poke it and kind of show you. You kind of poke it, but it does come up. I waited a couple and then took it. It does push back up a little bit. That's how you know it's a good time. I like doing it cold because I feel like the slits get a lot nicer. And remember, I'm pulling it onto itself so that I get really pushing it into the center, making it kind of bulge out, and then I can get to slitting. I get a little dust. If you like it and to keep the flour on top, because it looks a lot prettier, totally fine. If you don't like it being on there, you can just brush it off. It's just to help. So here I did very shallow cuts, and I'll show you the final product when you do like little cuts, and then I'll also show you when I do deeper cuts so you can just see the difference. It's totally fine to cut deeper. I'm sorry, that's Luna. She doesn't know where to put her bone. So see how the shallow cuts didn't really, they just are more of aesthetic. So as promised, this is what it looks like when you do a little bit of a deeper cut. See how it really opens up in those locations? So if you want more of an aesthetic, just cut a little bit shallower. If you want more of like it popping and getting the different grooves, and you'll want to just cut a little deeper. Again, thanks for watching. Subscribe and like for more.